our good friends at Angel Studios. I love Angel Studios. Amazing new film this Holy Week. Phenomenal. In fact,
as I think about Charlie's life and how much of a support he was of Angel, it's hard not to feel so grateful for what he did. He supported us in our darkest days and in our brightest hours as a company. Man, are we grateful to have gotten to be a little connection in the multitude of connections that he made throughout his life, because it was so impactful to us. Thank you, Charlie. Love you. We miss you. We're going to continue to drive forward the good news.
Hi, Charlie. Before we start, I want to say I'm a professor here at WSU, and
thank you for no, don't boom. What do you teach?
Fair enough. I'm a sociology professor. I actually teach environment and climate change. Don't worry, that's not my question. I have no desire to talk about that today. Before I start, though, I actually want to surprise you maybe a little bit and say that I appreciate that you're here. If nothing else, hold on. If nothing else, as someone who wants so badly to see our students engaged in politics and the life of the mind, this is great, and you should give yourselves a hand for showing up and be out here to talk about ideas. I do want to focus my question, if I can ask a question rather than doing this whole polemic thing, on the students that are here. So I've taught here for 6 years. I've gotten to know hundreds of our students. Every semester I ask them what they care about, what they want, what concerns them. And I think you probably know this, what scares them the most is that the day that they leave here and they go on the job market, they enter the labor pool, that they're not going to find a job. They're not going to find a job. They're going to have a hard time buying a home. They're not going to be able to afford to have a family. Do you agree with that? Do you all agree with that?
Well, largely. Okay. I mean, if they're studying sociology, they might not be able to find a job.
Well,
but I mean,
fair enough. Yeah.
You're kind of proving that college is not really a good use of time.
So for what it's
if
worth,
the students
Charlie,
you're talking to can't find jobs, why are they learning from you?
Sorry, for what it's worth, Charlie, I mostly don't teach sociology students. I mostly teach students from across campus who are interested in things like the environment and climate change. I teach very few sociology students. There's actually a lot of environmental science, engineering,
even
finance,
more so,
accounting. A lot of people with the kinds of degrees that you think are very valuable. Anyway, they remain concerned. What I would love to hear from you, genuinely, is what you believe the Trump administration has done in these first 4 months that is making the economic futures of these young people better.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's been in office for 80 days, but quite a lot. Number one, the price of oil is already down, so it's easier for everyone here to be able to drive home. The gas is going to be cheaper, which also will lower inflation. Number two, a tax bill will hopefully passed, which is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, largest middle-class tax cut in history. Yeah. So everyone here that's going to have a job where overtime is incorporated, they'll be able to keep more of their money. Number three, we're opening up federal lands to build more homes, which is a great thing because home ownership is way inaccessible for a lot of people in this audience. And it's going to take some time. And one of the main reasons why President Trump won is because we were able to move the youth vote rather significantly and substantially because the Democrat Party, A, took younger voters for granted. I think we can agree on that.
Absolutely.
And B, they did not have an optimistic, hopeful agenda for home ownership, for getting married and having children in this country. So I would like to see the Trump administration go even further and make it so that every young person in this country can have accessibility to be able to own a home. I think they should prohibit major funds like BlackRock from buying up private family homes so that we have to compete against them. And I'll just do another thing I'm privately lobbying for and publicly, because I'll say it here, is I don't think the Chinese Communist Party should be able to buy up farmland in the western part of the United States.
Absolutely.
And with that, single-family homes. So that's just some of the ideas here.
Sure. So can I respond? I actually agree with most of what you're saying. I'm not sure that opening up federal lands for housing is going to really solve our housing crisis. I'm not sure lowering the cost of gasoline is really going to deal with the other kinds of inflationary pressures that the Trump administration is putting on the economy, because you didn't really mention the most important thing that he's done, which is place massive tariffs on imports into the United States, which has caused retaliatory tariffs, which are putting economic pressures on American businesses. So it's not only actually jacking up the price, it's functionally a tax on all of us. We're all just going to pay extra for things that get imported. So there's inflation. But all of this conflict, the import, the cost of living going up, the pressure is being put on businesses, also means that the odds of a recession are also going up. By every estimate, not just academic economists, but economists from the government, as well as economists who are working in finance or in the private sector, how do you reconcile the increasing cost of living, the odds of a recession, with the idea that the Trump administration is making the economic futures of young people better?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I fully acknowledge that what we inherited from Joe Biden was no. I mean, of course, you inherit. You want me to prove to you how bad the economy was we inherited?
No, sorry, just
you can
real
laugh
quick,
and chuckle.
real quick. I think that the problems facing the American economy are bipartisan. They've been caused by both parties over 40 years.
Hold on, let me prove to you how
That's
that's
not a Biden
true.
problem.
No,
It's not an Obama
Time out.
problem. It's a
Let me
Bush and
prove to you.
Biden and Obama
See,
problem.
No, hold on. Allow me to finish my
go
point.
for it. Go for it.
And the audience, your students, will teach you something. Is that okay?
I would love that.
Who had a stronger economy, Joe Biden or Donald Trump's first term? It's not so. So you could say it's a bipartisan problem, but when Donald Trump was president, blue-collar workers and young people saw their incomes rise faster than the 1%. When Joe Biden was president, the wealthy got wealthier than any other time in American history. We saw the 1% explode their asset class, and young people and workers had a tougher time. As far as tariffs go, we're still very, let's just say, new into this rather risky experiment that the American people voted for. It could raise prices, or it could end up being where we strike really good trade deals and we sell more of our own products to these countries.
Absolutely.
And tariffs are a forcing function to open up markets. But I think it's actually really promising that a president is willing to risk even his own political favorability to do something that every other politician has promised, which is to protect the American worker. I really think that's political courage in spades. And I could address the other points, but if you'd like to interject.
You're right. Like it's risky. And I think that that's an excellent way to frame it. So I guess my follow-up question is, what's the theory behind how this will work, and how long do we need to wait until we give up on the experiment?
Well, first and foremost, we don't know whether. So when you are the incumbent economic player, tariffs can help you. The entire world would love to be a consumer economy. We are a consumer economy. But if you are only a consumer economy, that comes with some problems. We don't make vitamin C in this country. It's all made in China. No, it's a real thing. You literally can't survive without vitamin C. Our antibiotics are made in China. You can laugh all you want. Our pharmaceutical materials, our aluminum, our iron, our rare earth minerals. We can't make a drone without at least half the components or parts made in mainland China. That's a national security problem. And so by using prudence, which is, of course, one of the highest of all the virtues, President Trump is able to weigh the costs and the benefits while also asking the most important question. Am I going to be able to have America not be a vassal state to the Chinese Communist Party while also improving the well-being of the people who voted for me, and not just people who voted for me, but every American person, every American citizen? Finally, if tariffs are nothing but downsides, why does China use them? There are some upsides potentially to tariffs, to protect some industries or to incentivize domestic production. And finally, I think I want to double down and reiterate this point, which is that the people in this audience that voted for President Trump were trying to send a message to their leaders that you haven't listened to us. The experts have gotten so much wrong. You guys stole prom away from us. You stole graduation away from us. You guys from the COVID lockdowns. And it's time for us to try something new. I'm simply just...
That's great. I don't know what that has to do with the question that I asked, which was about the use of tariffs. I don't know what that has to do with prom.
Well, hold on. But
no.
You're
redirecting the question. I want to talk to you about the tariffs.
Can I tell you what it has to do with tariffs, actually? Because I'll complete the point. Because you have a PhD and I didn't go to college, so let me maybe make sense of it for you, okay? But I was saying, what it has to do with tariffs is that they don't trust what the experts have been saying, because the experts locked down this generation and unnecessarily masked them for 2 years. So when the experts say tariffs don't work, excuse us when we say, actually, you have completely invalidated all of your predictions the last couple of years. Do you see how they connect?
Well, I see how that connects to how people think about tariffs. I think that's different than what tariffs actually do.
Well,
and it's perfectly fine to be frustrated.
That's what they do.
Now you let me talk.
Well, hold on.
You let me talk. You keep telling me not to interrupt you. I'm not interrupting you.
That's what you think they do. I'm going to add some context to what you're saying. However, we have not yet done an experiment of tariffs as the incumbent economic superpower when we have mass robotics, artificial intelligence, we are energy independent, and our greatest adversary is energy dependent. So you don't know what's going to happen, and the American people voted for the experiment.
Well, then let me redirect you back to the question that I asked you and that you didn't answer. So it's an experiment. It's risky. These are your words. These are the words you have used. Yeah. How long do we have to wait? And when do we know that they've worked? Is it 3 years? Is it 4 years? If 4 years from now, prices are still up,
Well, prices are not going
hiring,
up. Inflation
hiring is down.
going
no,
down.
No. It's inflation is not going to go down.
But it already is, though.
You've put a tax. You've increased the cost of living. That's what a tariff does, Charlie.
So, Doctor, what's your
Bugden.
name? Buddington. Bugton. Dr. Bugton. How does one avoid a tariff?
Do you mean like how do we not impose tariffs
if
intentionally
you are,
on
no,
ourselves?
but let's educate the audience. If you're Toyota, how do you avoid a tariff?
In the current climate, you would build cars here, which Toyota
Exactly.
does. Toyota
And
invests $1 billion a year in
Trillions of
building
dollars are
cars.
coming into the United States thanks to tariffs. Trillions of dollars. NVIDIA pledged $500 billion.
Those have nothing to do with the tariffs.
Hold
Those
on.
were pre-existing agreements,
Toyota
Charlie.
just announced 10 new plants in Indiana and Ohio because of the tariffs.
Okay,
Hyundai the same. No, that
how long do we
they
wait?
Are. But
How
hold on.
long until they build those plants? Is it
Well,
next
actually,
year? Is it 5 years? Is it 6 years?
They've announced it. They're going to break ground soon. However, I think the more operative question that you're asking is that if something doesn't work, President Trump will not follow it blindly because he's not an ideologue on this. You can laugh and
I
you
agree
can
that he's
kind of
not an ideologue,
shrug your
for what it's
shoulders. In fact, he's a patriot. Unlike the prior president, he actually cares about the well-being of the American people. And so if what he is doing with tariffs start to have overwhelming evidence that it's not working for the American people, then he will pivot or adjust. But let me tell you the other component. We're about to pass a massive tax bill in conjunction with the tariff strategy that will make us the most desirable market on the planet to do business. The American worker is about to take more money home than they ever have in the last 50 years. Again, no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime. We're going to have a massive middle-class tax cut, an expanded child tax credit, things that the Democrats and Joe Biden refuse to do. President Trump is going to deliver in massive numbers. So I would like to say, despite what the experts say, oh, there's a recession coming, it might be true, but again, this is the same expert class that has completely lost any credibility with the American people the last couple of years. President Trump's been in office for 80 days. Remember when everyone was complaining about the price of eggs? Well, the price of eggs has gone down. The price of oil has gone down dramatically, like $20 a barrel. Give President Trump some time. And by the way, it only took him 10 days to solve the border crisis. Turns out we did not need a border bill. We just needed a new president to secure the southern border.
For what it's worth, I haven't had lunch, so I'm going to leave and let the next person talk. Sure. I just want to say, I do want to reiterate my point, just for you to reflect on and for everyone here to reflect on. It is a risk, and the president has taken an enormous gamble, not with some abstract thing called the economy. It's your future. It's your jobs. It's your ability to get hired. It's the ability to buy a house and have kids.
No, you know who took the biggest? I got to interject.
And all you need to do, all that anyone should really bother doing, is not to fight about it, but to just pay attention to what actually happens and to reflect on whether what Charlie said is true. That this president is actually a patriot and is actually adapting and is actually doing things to make your life better. Okay.
Yes, and they voted for him for a reason because they saw his first term and how well he did and how Joe Biden destroyed the country intentionally. Thank you, Doctor, and I wish you well.